Guru Gauranga Vikagiri Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Gurudev ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Ashatara Shatashmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Goraksharas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shard Gosai Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai. नाम अचाय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंग देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमाद श्रील भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमाद भक्ति बलवत् तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमाद भक्ति दायित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमाद श्रील भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिष्यमाद भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। All the associates of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, jai, and the followers of those associates, the disciples and grand disciples and great grand disciples of those associates ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Sai. गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Gaurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Maya Varatimingilo Daragatan Uddhritta Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdikahana Sukham Pradat Prabhum Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Surupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanidhim Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha vrishabhanusutan vitavamatanu yamuna tatanagarananda sutam Murali Kalagita Vinoraparang Bhajagodrumakanana Kunjavidum Smaragauраgadadharakelikalam Bhavagauраgadadharapakshachara Shrinugauragadadhara Charukatham Bhajagodrumakanana Kunjavidum Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai kshiptashtakama ditaranga madhe kripa maitam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Let's recite the Praṇāma mantras for Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj. Where are they? One second. There they are. Okay. Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya kṛpaika ya maryādā rakṣati vaiṣṇavānāṁ kṛpāvalaṁ Mādhava preṣṭha kāmī Śrī bhaktidaṁ bhāratim āśrayāmaḥ. I accept shelter at the lotus feet of the most revered Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, who treasures the mercy of Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Mahāprabhu as his exclusive wealth, who is the personification of following Vaishnava etiquette. Who is the personification of following Vaishnava etiquette in its purest form, who considers the boundless mercy of Śrīmad Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja as his life and soul, and always aspires to eternally remain his dearmost servitor. That's one who knows and fulfills the most cherished desires, the manobhishta of his beloved master. And I accept shelter at the lotus feet of that most revered Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj, who bestows Śrī Bhakti, that's the topmost service to Śrīmati Rādhika as her maidservant, to one and all, without discrimination. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees, Shubhananda Prabhu, Champak Mataji, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook who is there. Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, and whoever else is watching, Indira Mataji, and anybody else. I don't know who's there right now. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. And also pranams to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Reva Didi, Haribo. So we're continuing on with this series of, we're reading the series that Madhav Priya Prabhu wrote for the Bhagavat Patrika. It was translated from Hindi into English. It is called Remembrance and Separation. And this is our second day reading this. Yesterday, what did we read yesterday? Let's just look at the document. If anybody wants me to share with them this Word document, as I'm just cutting and pasting all the separate things into here. So if you want to have it all in one file, so you can read it offline, you don't have to go from page to page, then let me know, I can share it with you. So yesterday we read about Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Maharaj's childhood and receiving brahminical samskars. And What was this one? Let's just, actually, all the titles right here. That's better. Okay. So yesterday we read about Śrīla Mahārāja's childhood and receiving Brahminical samskars. And then the Upanaya samskar at age 8. Then the acceptance of Harinam and Diksha. Severing the hard knots in my heart. And yeah, service in unfavorable circumstances. So today, we'll see how far we get, but we're going to read the colossal vow of Tridandi Sannyas. Virtue above inconvenience. Serving as secretary without hesitation or fear. The gravity of the post of Acharya. The translation of Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita and Śrī Chaitanya Bhagavat. Reputation. So we'll see how far we get through these. Okay. The colossal vow of Tridandi Sannyas. One sec. Okay. Oh, and before we begin, well, actually, maybe I'll make the announcement at the end when there are more people. Why is it not loading? There, okay. The colossal vow of Tridandi Sannyas. I'm sorry I can't do I didn't do this beforehand. I'm so maxed out right now. Okay, there. So in 1969, Srila Madhav Gosvāmī Maharaj awarded sannyas to Srila Mahārāja. Srila Mahārāja related about his sannyas in the following manner. In 1969, while visiting Sri Dham Mayapur, my godbrother, Sri Narayan Das Brahmachari, later Sri Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, said to me, he said, Guru Maharaj is desirous of awarding me sannyas. However, I am born in a dynasty of kshatriyas, the administrative class. So how can I accept sannyas? I counseled him. Isn't Guru Maharaj more knowledgeable compared to you or I? Also, in the line of Mahaprabhu, there is no consideration whatsoever of caste, lineage, and so on. Therefore, please fulfill the desire of Guru Maharaj without any worry. At that time, he informed me that there was a discussion about my sannyas as well. Up to that point, I was very enthusiastically counseling him. Yet the moment I was confronted about my own sannyas, I lost all composure. I covered myself with a chadar and quietly took a nap. That day, it occurred to me for the first time that while it is easy to advise others, it is an altogether different story when it comes to following it yourself. Even though it's easy to advise others, it is altogether a different story when it comes to following it yourself. After some time, Guru Maharaj called me in his presence and said, Vaishnavas desire that you will be awarded sannyas, and it is my desire as well. Therefore, please prepare yourself for the ceremony tomorrow morning. Well, we didn't give him much time to prepare. Huh? Although thoroughly study, I think it's supposed to say thorough. Although thorough, I don't know why I was reading also as although. Also, thoroughly study the Avadut Upakyan, the legend of an Avadut from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam today. And if you are not following any of the conceptions mentioned therein at present, then from tomorrow onwards, up to the end of your life, try to follow all the teachings mentioned to the best of your ability. Although I heard what Guru Maharaj said, I became so frantic with worry that I instantly contracted a fever. I began to contemplate that after the stage of brahmacharya, as per the scripture, there's no provision to enter grihastha. There's a provision to enter grihastha ashram. However, upon accepting sannyas, if I'm unable to follow the vows of sannyas and consequently fall down, then my parents, who always desire my auspiciousness and take pleasure in my pleasure will also have to go to hell. Additionally, it will bring stigma to the holy character of my Guru Mahārāja. The day for me to take the colossal vow of sannyas has now presented itself. According to the words of Guru and Vaishnavas, only a fortunate person is awarded the renounced order, is awarded sannyas to impart gopi bhav yoga. To follow the order of my Guru Mahārāja ji, I will submit myself by body, mind, and words to be chastised by him. In other words, submit myself in complete self-surrender at his lotus feet. After accepting this vow, I will always abide by it and never retract. Contemplating thus, I carefully studied the glories of Tridandi Bhikshu, the Avadut, and noted down the chief teachings enumerated therein in my diary. The next morning, Guru Mahārāja took me and my godbrother, Sri Narayan Das Brahmachari, along to bathe in the Ganga. Thereafter, as per Samskara Dipika, composed by Srila Gopal Bhatta Gosvāmī, he awarded me sannyas mantra and instructed me to beg alms as is customary. That evening, Guru Mahārāja made me speak on the objective of accepting sannyas, the ideal and etiquette to be abided by, the ideal and etiquette to be abided by a sannyasi, and so on. If my memory serves me correctly, from the day of my sannyas until now, I have always followed all the teachings Guru Maharaj ordered me to study at that time. I'm going to just open up a few windows here so I don't have to keep on going back and forth. Just 1 second. Virtue above inconvenience. Serving as secretary without hesitation. Okay. Right. Oh, and Haribol Chatamai Mataji. 1 second. Hey, what happened? Okay. Oh, and Haribol Krishnamai Didi. Okay, virtue above inconvenience. One remarkable characteristic of Śrīla Mahārāja was, whenever he accepted responsibility for or commenced any service, he would become so absorbed in it that all else would fade into oblivion. Having once imbibed something as truth or given his word to someone, he would never retract, no matter how much inconvenience was required to honor his promise. Even in the seemingly most inconsequential incidents, he would be astonished to hear his astutely subtle I'm sorry, I didn't sleep much last night, and so my brain is not, that's why I'm having a difficult time reading properly. But even in the seemingly most inconsequential incidents, one would be astonished to hear his astutely subtle and deep viewpoint, which was always pursuant to scriptural doctrine. We will present 2 such anecdotes, as recounted by Śrīla Mahārāja, depicting these special qualities in him. First incident. Once, while residing at Sri Mayapur, I, along with many other devotees, contracted chickenpox and was incapacitated to render any service. However, when I remembered Tat Kripa Avalokana, that means seeing Bhagavan's mercy in every situation, which is one of the 64 limbs of devotional service, I saw my present situation also as auspicious. I considered, generally, being engaged in some service or the other, there is no opportunity to study the scriptures, But now I can study the scriptures for as long as I like. Therefore, I began reading Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. As I read on, I became so engrossed and blissful that I would not feel like putting the book down for even a moment. At that time, Śrīpad Krishna Keshav Brahmachari, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, told the other brahmacharis, he said, "Please keep an eye on him, lest he become insane by incessantly reading the scripture." Anyhow, I actually did not experience the agony of chickenpox at all, because most of my time was spent reading Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Upon hearing that some devotees were suffering from chickenpox, Guru Maharaj wrote a letter to the then temple president at Śrī Caitanya Gaudiya Math, Śrī Mayapur, Śrī Bhakti Prasad Ashram Maharaj, informing him to provide a special diet such as halava and puri, etc., to those who were suffering. Although Śrī Ashram Maharaj related to us the contents of Guru Maharaj's letter and his instructions about the special prescribed diet, he was unable to provide that diet for us, whatever the reason may have been. At that time, some brahmacharis began to urge me. He said, "You always have an active correspondence with Guru Maharaj through letters. So you should certainly keep Guru Maharaj abreast of the fact that we are not being provided the diet he prescribed and about the overall situation." I replied, "If for some reason Śrī Asha Maharaj is unable to follow the order of Guru Maharaj, then that should be a matter of his concern, not ours. Why should we become despondent over this? Secondly, I cannot demand anything from Guru Maharaj, because when I had expressed my desire to permanently reside at the Math, I had not entered into any agreement stating that I will serve, but all of you should take care of me in special circumstances. Therefore, it is only appropriate to spend this time howsoever we can, while depending on Guru, Vaishnavas, and Bhagavan." Then two of the brahmacharis spoke. "We have intimated our family members by letter. They will definitely make some arrangement or other. If you wish, you can also write to those from your Purva Ashram, from your life before joining the Math, to request something." I replied, "If I write to my ex-relatives, I know that they will certainly make some arrangements. But even still, I will not do so, because despite the fact that they have fulfilled my various necessities for many years, I have not done anything for them in exchange. By becoming a brahmachari, I indirectly declared my lack of support to them, and now upon experiencing a little inconvenience, is it befitting to ask them for help? Sheerly out of shame, I will never be able to do such a thing." After a couple of days, one brahmachari approached me. He said, "My father has sent some money to me. I will get something for everyone out of that money," he suggested. Hearing him, I exclaimed, "Don't you dare get me anything using that money. I will not accept anything, so do not bring anything to me." Petrified, the brahmachari left. Anyhow, after a couple of days, two of my godbrothers, Shri Nitai Datta and Shri Keshav Mukherjee, came to Shri Mayapur for a few days. Seeing the devotees afflicted with chickenpox, they were inspired to arrange prasadam for all of us, as per this prescribed diet. Then onwards, this belief became firmly rooted in my heart, that if we are desirous to advance on the path of truth, then by the inspiration of Bhagavan, even unknown and unlikely personalities will come forward and provide exactly whatever is necessary. Now, the second incident. Haribol Ganga Mataji and Anadi Krishna Prabhu and Sarveshwari Mataji. Haribol. Oh, and Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji. Sorry, I didn't see you before. Okay. So, second incident. One time, I was in Hyderabad with the preaching party of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. On the day that we were to return to Kolkata, while I was dressing after my morning bath, my foot suddenly slipped, and I fell in such a way that my left hand hit the bed with such force that I endured 2 internal injuries, which were excruciatingly painful. I requested one devotee to inform the devotees bound for Kolkata that I would not be able to accompany them, and, if possible, they should cancel my ticket, as I would need to be taken to a hospital. That devotee did not heed my words. At any rate, eventually I was taken to the hospital. I felt I had fractured my hands. Thus, I suggested they request the physician to attend to me first. The physician, however, dismissed the request, saying, if it was indeed a fracture, then he would have created a great commotion, screaming at the top of his lungs due to the pain. So please wait your turn patiently. I will attend to him shortly. Later, the physician first took an X-ray and saw that my hand was fractured in 2 places. Thereafter, while applying a plaster-like bandage, the physician inquired, Mahārāja, even in the case of 1 fracture, people become restless, screaming in pain. How did you manage to remain unperturbed despite 2 fractures? I replied, would screaming relieve my pain? Till date, I haven't heard that there is any relief through screaming. Happiness and distress appear in accordance to one's destiny. Therefore, I consider it my duty to follow, to the best of my ability, the words of Bhagavad Gita, Dukesh anudvigna mana. One should not become disturbed upon the appearance of distress. Okay, serving as secretary without hesitation or fear. One second, just copying this. Okay. All right. Another time, the governing body of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math received an offer to take over a math situated in a place named Dum in Kolkata through Śrī Bhakti Sodha Ashram Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Despite all the members of the governing body being in agreement, I was the only one to oppose the proposal. I said, there is nothing to be contested if their trust members completely transfer to us legally. Otherwise, will it be befitting for our sannyasis and brahmacharis to attend the board meetings along with the 2 ladies who are among the members of their trust? Secondly, when the residents of their math will have to serve alongside our math residents, some perturbations will arise. Therefore, I am not in agreement with this proposal. Having heard me, one of the governing body members, Sri Jagamohan Prabhu, a disciple of Śrīla Prabhupada, said, "Oh brother, now that 11 other members have already signed an agreement, why don't you also just do the needful?" After hearing the proposition of the Guru Varga, I replied to Sri Jagamohan Prabhu, "On your insistence, I can put my signature. However, I will also mention that I am only signing on the insistence of Sri Jagamohan Prabhu, despite not being in agreement." Then Sri Jagamohan Prabhu said, "Do as you please." On his insistence, I offered my signature against my wishes. A short while later, one person was murdered in that place, and upon experiencing that discomfort, we had to backdate the agreement and re-sign. Thereafter, we had to pass a resolution to leave everything behind. The gist of the matter is that since childhood, I've never been a yes man. During the time of my Upanayan, despite some guests becoming upset due to the hindrance caused by my delay in saying bhāratim during the Upanayas, the sacred thread ceremony, where there's specific vows to be taken, like I will never sleep during the day, and the one receiving Upanayan has to agree to each one of those vows by uttering bhāram, which means I accept, I accept. But instead of ritualistically saying I accept, Śrīla Maharaj was taking his own time to assess whether he could give his word. We just read about that yesterday, right? This is when he's 8 years old. So, yeah, so despite some guests becoming upset due to the hindrance caused by my delay in saying bhāram, seeing that I was honoring the teachings awarded by them, my parents, uncle, aunt, and others became extremely delighted and felt immense pride. In the Vrindavan Mat, during the time of the electronic exhibition, when I had arranged for 3 queues instead of 2, some of my godbrothers had addressed me as someone who doesn't follow his Guru Maharaja's orders, despite every day singing Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriya Aikya, that my only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from the lotus mouth of Sri Guru. However, acknowledging that I had rendered that service with good intentions, my Guru Maharaj blessed me, affirming, wise work, wise work. Although on account of a difference of opinion in the above-mentioned episode, gradually a few persons became dissatisfied and displeased with me, and did not even hesitate in declaring me as a rival of the contemporary Acharya, Śrīla Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Gosvāmī Maharaj. Notwithstanding, I gave more precedence to upholding the reputation of the institution founded by my Guru Maharaj, and to the responsibility of my role as its secretary, rather than their dissatisfaction. Oh, wow, this is such an important teaching. Wow, I really needed to hear this. Okay. Devoid of any sense of duality in the course of executing Guru Seva. After the departure of Śrīla Bhakti Mādhava Gosvāmī Maharaj, Śrīla Maharaj served as the secretary. This is now Mādhava Prabhu speaking, right? So, after the departure of Śrīla Bhakti Mādhava Gosvāmī Maharaj, Śrīla Maharaj served as the secretary of Śrī Chaitanya Gaudiya Math for approximately 25 years. One specialty of Śrīla Maharaj's personality was how he always remained exceedingly enthusiastic to speak Harikatha daily in the Math, and to engage in Kirtan, Harikatha, and question and answer sessions, loving exchanges, and so on with the visiting devotees. Śrīla Maharaj used to express, soon, after shouldering the responsibility of being appointed as secretary, I realized that it is impossible to please everyone. Many whose word was not approved, or personal interest or verdict not sanctioned by me, accused me of scandal, as well as loudly hurling abuses at me. However, I never hesitated in executing my responsibilities for fear of such individuals. Okay. The gravity of the post of Acharya. So annoying when it does that. Sorry, I'm just trying to put in the... 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So, The gravity of the post of Acharya. Śrīla Mahārāja used to mention, prior to performing every significant activity, Guru Maharaj would first call upon different devotees in private to seek their opinions, and only later reveal his personal verdict on the matter. Once, Guru Maharaj called for me and said, so Śrīla Bhakti Madhava Goswami called for him. He called for me and said, with the objective that the functioning of Śrī Chaitanya Gaudiya Math carries on uninterruptedly after my departure. My godbrother, Śrī Bhakti Vijñāna Maharaj, has recommended appointing 4 acharyas as my successors. Because, in his opinion, he cannot pinpoint any one particular qualified individual whose commands will be obeyed by everyone. He also mentioned that he himself is about to appoint 4 acharyas for his own math. I have sought and heard the opinions of the other devotees on this matter. What is your opinion on this subject? I replied, although I am unqualified to offer any opinion on this matter, and besides, you haven't yet disclosed the opinions of others with whom you have already discussed this matter, even still, it seems to me that appointing one acharya will allow for smooth functioning of Śrī Chaitanya Gaudiya Math for some time to come. Otherwise, I feel that eventually a discord would arise amongst the disciples of the 4 acharyas residing together in one place. Guru Maharaj further inquired, would you accept the responsibility of being the acharya after I leave this world? I replied, I have never contemplated whether I would accept this responsibility or not. But one thing I can say with certainty is that I have not yet developed so much affection for the living entities as Sri Prahlad Maharaj or Sri Vasudev Datta, such that I would be prepared to go to hell for the sake of delivering them. For this reason, I am not keen on carrying out this responsibility at present. Wow, such an important... Wow. Okay. Secondly, this is what Ambarish Prabhu is also mentioning in his Pushpanjali. Secondly, I have heard from your lotus lips that when the bhakti lata, or the creeper of devotion, progressively grows, it eventually takes shelter of Śrī Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet, which are compared to a kalpa vriksha, a wish-fulfilling tree. Then, under the protection of this kalpa vriksha alone, fruits of prem begin to appear on that creeper. The sadhak then personally relishes these ripened fruits. But as those fruits increase in number, there comes a time when the sadhak is unable to consume them all by himself. Thus, fearing wastage, the desire to distribute those fruits of prem manifests in his heart. I have not yet attained this elevated position, and hence I am presently not very enthusiastic to undertake this service of being acharya. Shastra poraya sabe ek karma kore, shrotar sahite jam pashe dubi more. That's from Chaitanya Bhagavat Adikanda, chapter 2, verse 68. The meaning is, although a person may teach the scriptures, he and his students will be punished by Yamaraj, the king of death, if he, not understanding the purport of those scriptures, performs worldly activities or spiritual activities without understanding their import. Having heard me out, Guru Maharaj replied, in order to gain considerable experience on this subject, you should minutely study and deliberate upon the section in the second part of Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas that describes the symptoms of a guru and a disciple, as well as the relevant parts of Sri Vedanta Sutra. When the need arises, you will also have to accept the role of acharya. Previously, I also had no intention to accept the responsibility of becoming Guru Acharya. However, due to the need of the hour, and for the sake of service, I was required to serve in this role as well. Okay, the translation of Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita and Śrī Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay, Srila Mahāraja's godbrother, Śrī Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, had commenced the Hindi translation of Śrī Chaitanya Bhagavat along with some brahmacharis, and for the service of editing and proofreading, Pandit Śrī Suryakanta Gosvāmī, Professor Śrī Govinda Sharma, Dr. Yogeshwar Dayal Sharma, he's Vyakaran Acharya, doctorate in grammar, and Pandit Śrī Om Prakash Vrajabasi, Sahitya Ratna, a literary honor, they were appointed. However, despite so many being involved in the project, they could not easily decipher the factual meaning of the transcendental language used by Srila Prabhupada. For this reason, Śrī Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj involved Srila Maharaj in this service by requesting him to translate and edit, and only then the publication of the translation became possible. All the above-mentioned scholars, along with Śrī Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, said in unison, they said, if Srila Maharaj had not spared his invaluable time, then this particular service wouldn't have ever been possible for us. In the dedication and introduction to Adi Kanda of Śrī Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, he personally penned, the secretary of Śrīmad Tridandi Swami Śrīmad Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj has rendered an extraordinary contribution towards the Hindi translation of Śrī Chaitanya Bhagavat by translating the Bengali Payar and the Gaudiya Bhashya commentary as it is under his guardianship. After the completion of the Hindi translation of Śrī Chaitanya Bhagavat, Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj requested Srila Maharaj to also translate Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita in Hindi, and subsequently, he himself became very unwell. Nevertheless, as per the request of Śrī Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, Srila Maharaj commenced work on the Hindi translation. After publishing one kanda of Adi Lila and Madhya Lila, Srila Maharaj himself enacted the pastime of being extremely unwell in Agartala's Śrī Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, and consequently, he was brought to the Apollo Hospital in Kolkata. For 7 days, Srila Maharaj remained in a coma, and later he gradually recovered. After this incident, Srila Maharaj would repeat one thing over and over again. He said, "My Gurudev has kept me in this world only to complete the task of translating Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita." Srila Maharaj would repeatedly urge the devotees who were involved in the service of translating Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita with him. He would say, "Kindly do not resort to indolence of any sort in this service. Finish it as soon as possible. Only after the completion of this service will I be factually at peace." The sheer delight and exhilaration with which Srila Maharaj exhilaration which Srila Maharaj exhibited when Antya Lila of Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita was published cannot be possibly expressed in words. Thenceforth, Srila Maharaj began saying, "I have fulfilled all the orders that I received from my Gurudev and the Vaishnavas. Now I am ready to depart from this world. Whenever the mandate comes, I will leave. The objective of my life has been attained. Completely content. Śrīla Mahārāja. When I was engaged in the service of translating Madhya Kanda, the second volume of Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, at that time, upon becoming unwell, I was brought to Kolkata from Agartala. Upon recovering a little, for the first time in my life, I developed the disposition to ask something of Guru Maharaj, as per my own desire. So I prayed to Guru Maharaj. I prayed, please accept the service. In other words, the service of completing the translation of Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita in Hindi as my last service unto you. Award me some more time so as to see this task to completion. Now that this service has been accomplished, I am completely satisfied. Reputation for deep understanding of Siddhanta. Okay, 1 second, just opening it here. Okay. Preaching service free from indolence and an ideal personified for the contemporary Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Mostly, Śrīla Mahārāja remains exceedingly busy, engaged in preaching, either with Śrī Chaitanya Gaudiya Mat's preaching party or independently with a few devotees across many locations, namely Puri, Mayapur, Vrindavan, Kolkata, Chandigarh, Delhi, Faridabad, Bengaluru, Mumbai, Pune, Jalandhar, Manas, Jammu, Jaipur, etc. He did not let his old age obstruct his preaching and always remains blissfully and enthusiastically engrossed in this service. Even young sannyasis and brahmacharis would be amazed upon observing his tight travel schedule and daily routine. Śrīla Mahārāja's transcendental qualities were showcased by his sharp memory, intimate dealings with everyone, and equanimity. It was not that Śrīla Mahārāja was only honored by Śrī Chaitanya Gaudiya Math devotees. His stellar reputation spread across almost all the Gaudiya Maths, as well as among many senior sannyasis of ISKCON. Sri Jayapataka Maharaj would often address Śrīla Mahārāja as his Shiksha Guru. I was just hearing yesterday from Ramesh Prabhu, who's now Ramani Babaji Maharaj, how he mentioned 4 people. I think it was Jayapataka Maharaj, Achyutananda Prabhu, and 2 others, that they stayed in Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Kolkata, that Kolkata Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, with Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī. So yeah, he had some relationship. So Jayapataka Maharaj would often address Śrīla Mahārāja as a Shiksha Guru. Observing Śrīla Mahārāja's Vaishnava dealings, expertise in service, lucidity in Siddhanta, sweet and straightforward childlike demeanor, and his ability to execute and uphold Vaishnava etiquette. Mostly, all the senior Vaishnavas across various Gaudiya Maths would repeatedly offer obeisances to Śrīla Mahārāja's Vaishnavata, his quality of being a Vaishnav. Even Mahabhagavats like Śrīmad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj and Śrīmad Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj would sometimes solicit Śrīla Mahārāja's inputs on Siddhanta. And on many occasions, they would encourage their disciples to approach Śrīla Mahārāja to obtain a deeper perspective and hone their own understanding of Siddhanta. Sometimes, Śrīla Mahārāja's deeds would exemplify his profound solemnity. How do you say that? Solemnity, which was simultaneously more elevated than the peaks of the Himalayas, and deeper than the ocean. Sometimes, in casual, jovial interactions with Srila Maharaj, even outright newcomers would feel as if they were interacting with a friend, father, or a grandfather. Most of Srila Maharaja's godbrothers would hear his Harikatha with utmost respect, accepting every word as bona fide. What to speak of others, the former Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Śrīmad Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj, would become jubilant upon hearing his Harikatha and encourage other devotees to also hear from Srila Maharaj. Śrīmad Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj always evinced deep respect, regard, and extreme affection for Srila Maharaj. For this reason, most of the disciples of Śrīmad Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj would associate with Srila Maharaj and serve him, considering him to be non-different to their guru. Receiving his affection, they would consider themselves blessed and earnestly hear Srila Maharaj's Harikatha. Right? Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Goswami Maharaj is one of his main personal sevaks. Narottam Prabhu was a disciple of Srila Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj, even during Srila Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj's time. So, manifesting Acharya Lila. We have 5 minutes left. Yeah, I think so. We can read this. I think we'll probably end with this. Manifesting Acharya Lila. Okay. After the disappearance of Srila Gurudev, that's Srila Gurudev Nityalila Pravishya Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, in 2010, and manifestation of a confidential, or in other words, esoteric sickness pastime by Śrīmad Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj in 2013, we read a lot about that from that book, Sweet, Sweeter, and Sweetest. Many devotees around the world started hankering to take shelter of a highly advanced Mahabhagavat like them. Many devotees repeatedly requested Srila Maharaj to give shelter. Although Srila Maharaj initially dissuaded such proposals, in the course of time, seeing the rising Apasiddhanta in the society of Gaudiya Saraswat Vaishnavas, Srila Maharaj began awarding Harinam in 2015. Prior to awarding Harinam Diksha to anyone, Srila Maharaj expressed his contemplations. As I was considering the subject, he said, as I was considering the subject within my conscience for many months, many thoughts gradually manifested in my heart. The principal ones that I remembered among them are as follows. Srila Madhavendra Puri had taken a vow to desist from approaching anyone for the sake of his sustenance, and to only accept milk, even if things are obtained of their own accord by ajachaka vritti. However, for the sake of the service and pleasure of Bhagavan, he broke his vow and accepted Amrita Keli Kheer, which I have in my fridge. Just yesterday, Ramani Babaji Maharaj gave me a little pot of the Amrita Keli Kheer of Kheer Chor Gopinath. I wish I could share it with all of you. However, for the sake of the service and pleasure of Bhagavan, he broke his vow and accepted Amrita Keli Kheer. Sorry, I just read that. So in this way, for the sake of my Gurudev's service, and to protect the sanctity of his words, that Pujapad Śrīmad Bhakti Vallabha Goswami Maharaj would remain the sole Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, I had taken a solemn vow to never award Diksha. However, due to the present circumstances, I will have to forsake my vow solely for the service of my Gurudev and Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. Now, next contemplation is Srila Prabhupada accepted the implicit meaning of the words of Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, namely, do not establish Mat Mandir, and those of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, namely, never go to Kolkata and never award Diksha to anyone. Srila Prabhupada did not limit himself to the external meaning of these words. In the same way, I am also feeling compelled to act like Srila Prabhupada by grasping the implicit meaning of the words of my Guru Maharaj. And then his next contemplation. My Guru Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Rakṣak Sridhar Gosvāmī Maharaj, Śrīmad Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosvāmī Maharaj, and the many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who are our Guru Varga, also began awarding Harinam and Diksha solely as a service to Srila Prabhupada, although not having received the direct order from him to assume the position of Guru. In the same way, for the sole purpose of my Guru Maharaja's service, I have also become compelled to follow in the footsteps of the above-mentioned ideal manifested by my Guru Varga in the present scenario. And actually, Srila Bhakti Maharaj, is following the order of his Guru Maharaj, right? Because his Guru Maharaj said that at some point you will also have to take the position, accept the position of Acharya, even though you don't want it. And so he did in the last 2 years, right? Okay, so then he says, in this ripe old age, I am not in any kind of frenzy or desperation to accumulate disciples. Like a woman suffering the pains of labor is desperate to deliver her child as soon as possible. Although I feel that I am completely unqualified to carry out this duty, and realizing by doing so, I may have to tread the path to hell. For the sole purpose of Guru Maharaja's service, for the dignity of the Mat institution established by him, to protect the esteem of the Sampradaya, the disciplic succession, and to serve all the devotees who have beseeched me time and again to initiate, I have taken upon myself this arduous yet essential task of awarding Harinam and Diksha, and I will continue to do so in the days to come as well. Jai. Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. It is now 8 o'clock, so we will end here. I just want to see how many more parts there are in this series. Okay, so I think so manifesting Acharya Lila, then I never left the mat. The fruit of my previous karma, the mantras received from Shiksha Gurus, the mantra received from Śrīmad Bhakti Santa Goswami Maharaj. I think we can read this tomorrow. And then maybe we'll save all the rest for his disappearance day, which will come up in, in a couple months from now? I think so. So yeah. So yeah, we'll just read a bit. Maybe this is a whole series, all the mantras that he received from his Shiksha Gurus, all different disciples of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So that would be nice to read that as well. So that will be our program tomorrow. Yeah. All right, we'll just do short Mahamantra and then end. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Nayana Nath Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Balavatita Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Rakṣati Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. All the associates of Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, the Hindi publications of Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat and Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopikan Ki Jai. Giriraj, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashcha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams Niri Hari Prabhu Bhavatarani Mataji Anadi Krishna Prabhu Champak Champak Mataji. And looking on YouTube and Facebook, I see Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, Raseshwari Mataji, Krishna Mai Didi, Ganga Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Vidyalala Sadidi. She says, wow, such humility. The lives of our acharyas are filled with so many inspiring lessons for us. Truly appreciate these readings, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. And then Nandarani Didi, Bilva Mangal Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams Prabhu, and all other devotees watching. I see there are 10 devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. And also pranams to all devotees watching in the future. Sachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Revati Didi, Dandavat Pranams. So one just very quick announcement I want to make. The Raise our Raise of the Harmonist team, we are putting together like we're publishing articles. The first article was published last night. Articles, it's a series called Mathura, the Saraswat Mission in the Heart of Vraj. And it's divided into 5 parts. I sent out the announcement. Where is it? It'll be in my, here, I have the announcement right here. I'll just read out the announcement. That's easier. Here it is. Hey, what happened to it? 1 second. Okay, now I have it open. Okay, so as we approach the auspicious occasion of Shri Guru Purnima, we humbly offer this presentation at the lotus feet of our most worshipful Srila Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Narayan Gosai Maharaj, and the entire Guru Varga. We are honored to begin releasing a new 5-part series, Mathura, the Saraswat Mission in the Heart of Vraj. Originally featured in the Shri Shri Bhagavat Patrika, year 20, issues 5 to 12, to commemorate the recent reconstruction of Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math, this series explains how Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's profound desire to establish the pure Rupanuga conceptions in Mathura Mandal was fulfilled. Beginning today, one part of the series will be released daily during the days surrounding Guru Purnima. If anybody wants to get part 1, actually, I'll share it in our WhatsApp group. I'll do that. So part 1 opens with a report on the recent reconstruction of Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math and an overview of the series. It then highlights the timeless glories of the Dham, the sacred arrival of Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, and Srila Rupa Goswami's 1-month stay in Mathura. Then part 2, which will be coming out tonight, transports us to 1932, recounting Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Vraj Mandal Parikrama, sharing powerful excerpts from his Harikatha during that time, and his desire to establish the Gaudiya Sampradaya's conceptions within Mathura Mandal. Then part 3, which we'll release tomorrow, describes how his intimate disciple, Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, lovingly fulfilled that desire by establishing Śrī Keshavji Gaudiya Math, installing the deities of Śrī Gaur Radha Vinod Bihariji, and briefly recounting some of the services he rendered there. Then part 4 and 5 highlights how our beloved Śrīla Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, was entrusted with the service of the Math and exquisitely fulfilled the innermost desires of both his Gurudev and Śrīla Prabhupada, expanding the Saraswat Gaudiya mission in Mathura Mandal and later to the entire world. A few waves from the ocean of his countless specialities are touched upon here. We pray this offering is pleasing to them, aspiring servants of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, the rays of the harmonist team. So yeah, it's a very exciting series. So much history of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and Param Gurudev, and then so many nice jewels about Gurudev. It's a very nice series. And so yeah, I'll post, as I said, I'll post the first part that I posted last night. I'll post it in our Bhakti Vinod Giti Tata WhatsApp group. And you can also find it, I posted it on Facebook as well last night. It's nice to see the PDF though. The PDF has lots of pictures to go along with the text. So yeah, all right. Dandavat pranams. Well, we'll be, I already mentioned, right? We'll conclude on, like the Gurudev part will come out on Guru Purnima. All right.